Welcome to Cinematic Camera Moves.
Without any cinematic equipment, can we do it?
Welcome back, guys. Janne, what are we doing today?
So today we are taking it to the cinemas.
By how?
By how? By doing some cinematic camera movements, but without any additional gear.
Okay, so just with this?
Just with this. So none of that fancy $10,000, $100,000 gazillion dollar equipment.
So anyone can do this, right?
Pretty much anyone, but we will be using the party piece of the Olympus system, which is its stabilization.
Ooh. Sounds fancy.
Sounds fancy. It is pretty fancy, to be honest. So the Olympus system has this thing called 5-axis image stabilization, internal in body, and that is pretty much unique to Olympus. Not unique that others don't have it, either unique that Olympus implements it. But somehow the coding, or I don't know what is the software is.
The engineers did something.
The engineers did something that it feels supernatural.
Okay, so we're gonna show you a few camera movement tricks that you can try on your own and a few advanced moves, which we're not so sure if we can even pull it out, but we're gonna try it anyway.
Yeah, those advanced tricks will be some stuff that you'd see in the movies and you think like, how the beep was that made? And we're just gonna try to do that with this little puppy and nothing else.
Yeah.
So this is a challenge. Jonas is gonna give me classic cinematic movements which I need to replicate just with this. All right, so what are we starting with?
The first one will be Dolly push and Dolly pull.
All right, Dolly in.
Dolly push in.
Which means getting closer to the subject. We do it because we usually want to emphasize a motion or action that is already present in the scene. So we push in, bring the subject closer to what is happening, and thus putting an emphasis on bringing that emotion closer to the viewer.
So you could more feel the emotion, right?
Exactly. Then of course there's a second variation which is coming out. Personally, I like to use that most to reveal. So I am in and I'm showing something little. Then when I come away, I see more of the space around the subjects. And that reveals more of the story. Or I can leave the subject alone. For example, if he's lonely, I'll leave him in that loneliness. All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore.
And the next one will be crane reveal shot.
All right, crane. So that's up and down. Let's give it a try. So this is a way to direct the viewer's attention to singular bits of information at a time. First focusing on the leaves, showing that there's a leaf. Then I show a man's hands doing something. And after that, I show who the man is. The jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Good job. Okay, next.
And the next one will be a Dutch tilt.
Why it is called Dutch, I have no idea, but it seems to work every time. And that one's interesting. Super simple, you tilt the camera. All right, John is dead.
I didn't kill him. Okay, good. The next one is gonna be a Michael Bay.
Michael Bay movement. So this is Bayhem, the Bayhem twist, let's call it that.
Yeah, let's.
All right, the Bayhem twist. All right, so you're gonna twist clockwise and I'm gonna twist counterclockwise. Yeah, let's do that. Basically, it's a combination of the dolly, pan, and circular motion and the motion of the actor to create a very quick movement that brings huge attention to what happens next, which is the man entering through the door. Whoa, okay, that's good. The Bayhem, woo!
Bayhem is done.
Bayhem is done, yeah.
Okay, the next one is gonna be the Shaky Cam. So...
Made famous by Liam Neeson in Taken.
Yeah.
The old man was too slow, so we need to shake it up. So I'm gonna turn off my IS. Beep. All the stabilization off.
Okay.
Fight someone. All right, so the shake cam idea is to make everything feel more dangerous and fast, like kind of getting in there. Right. Hey, we're done.
Okay.
Before he gets too rowdy, we're gonna move to the next place and try some of those really difficult camera moves. And see what we can add to this to make it even more interesting.
So these next two shots you don't get to see in every movie, but when you do, it's like mind blown.
So the first one, that's more of a favorite that you brought to the table.
Yeah, it's the vertigo effect.
Yeah. Wait, who made that famous?
Alfred Hitchcock.
Hitchcock, right?
In the movie Vertigo.
That's right. That's why the vertigo name, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. So how are we pulling this off?
Well, you need to be moving with the camera towards your subject while you are zooming out.
And usually this would be done with a very expensive
with the Dolly,
set on the ground.
With at least four
people.
people behind the camera, and now we just have this one camera.
Yeah.
And you're gonna do it handheld while you're walking towards me, and
yeah. So all we're doing is we're using the Sync IS to stabilize everything that we possibly can with this camera, and we're gonna see if it's enough to let us walk in. I'm zoomed in all the way at 100 millimeters on Jonas, so I'm gonna move in and at the same time zoom out. I don't know, you look more like you're gonna poop your pants. You're the worst axe murderer in the history of cinema. Can you give me fright? 3, 2, 1, go. We got it. On to the next one. Spinning. This was my favorite. Now, one of my favorite directors is Christopher Nolan, and there's a movie called Inception, where there is a scene where the world around our subjects just kind of starts distorting and tilting. Now, in the original movie, they didn't tilt the camera, they actually tilted the world, which is a bit more fancy. But we wanted to see if we could kind of get the same effect by just tilting the camera with our very fancy super film equipment.
What we have here is a stool that we attach to the camera. The camera lens is right in the middle of the stool. So by turning the base of the chair, I was able to make the world turn around.
And make me fall.
Yes. Okay. We are good to go.
Now the important thing here is, right, to keep the center centered on the actual image plane of the camera, right?
Yeah.
You don't want it to do this, you want it to do this.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks. Ow. Yow. And we're spinning back like it's 1999.
Okay, so that was our average take on these cinematic moves, and I hope you get something from our stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing is that you don't need a lot of highly specialized equipment and to do a bunch of cinematic camera movements that can really push the story forward. The key is to use what you have to its maximum. If you have access to one of these Olympus cameras, fantastic. We think it's one of the best systems out there, especially to practice and learn the cinematic language. Even if you don't, just go out there and do something. Push in, push out, play with the camera, move with it, and see what it does to the image.
And remember, we are always just learning new stuff. Our stuff wasn't perfect, as you can see. If you know how to do this better, please tell us and show us your best clips, and feel free to educate us.
Please do so. In the meanwhile, let's stay average or on average and see you in the next one.